Greetings, royal queens and kings. It's your host, Queen Tulsa, and welcome back to the Queen Tulsa Show. We have an amazing show for you today, but first and foremost, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I need you to go ahead and subscribe and set your notifications to all so that you don't miss any of the hot topics and fire content. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Queen Tulsa. I am channeling Wendy, okay? And we have a lot to get into and we have a lot to cover. Right now, we are working on our surviving P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Love, whatever he's going by these days. Wendy Williams is also surviving, Bad Boy. Cassie has protection. The unhinged Diddy is definitely quiet as a mouse. The headlines are really flowing and throwing. He offered to give an 8-figure to his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend Cassie, which she's married, have 2 children, and she declined. A lot of people are out there saying, oh my God, I don't believe this. Is it the truth? Is it the lie? Well, one thing I can tell you is numbers don't lie. So after that, it took me to a place. I've been there. I've done that. I've witnessed. It's a lot. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome. Thank you all for coming by. I really appreciate you. Oh, absolutely. Please like, share, and subscribe. The Goddess Tulsa Show. Welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe. Now is the time to go ahead and get ready for the show. We have some great news for you. Okay? We're going to have a great time. So I really appreciate you and your dedication to showing up. Gratitude. Don't be afraid to hit that cash app. And don't forget to smash that like button. All right, so we are definitely here and we are channeling Wendy. Unfortunately, Wendy wore, the full leg jumpsuit, but when I put in my order, this is what they sent me. So shout out to Wendy. How you doing? So yes, first and foremost, we are going to take a look at what happened on Wendy Williams. We got to take this way back because y'all already know how I feel about the queen. How you doing? And so we're here in the studio. This is where Wendy started off from. And there were some things that happened in radio with Sean Puffy Combs. Okay. So we're just going to speed this up a little bit, but I definitely want you all to know where I am coming from. Okay. And we definitely have to stand up for the queen of radio, syndicated TV. Wendy, if you are out there and you're watching this, baby, we are doing this for you. And guess what? We have all the. Mhm. Oh, yeah, we're ready. Let's get into it, guys. We don't want to hear no more of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Oh yes, I'm pissed. I mean, and even his posse and even the ones that were close to them, such as Little Kim, she had a lot to say. Like Little Kim had a lot to say. Let's bring Little Kim up. Uh, or no, Young Jock had something to say. He had a lot to say. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Okay, so we're gonna go to Young Jock. This is what Young Jock had to say about Cassie and her shaving her hair. And this was on VLAD TV. And if anybody knows, whenever the people go over there, it be some stuff. It be some stuff. So they say allegedly that the man works for the FBI. So let's get into this. Let's pull this clip right on up. Okay, so here we go. So we're gonna go out and come back in. Let's go.
The nigga Puff was looking up there. He saw this white woman. It was bottles on bottles on bottles around. It was lit. Puff jumped out. Me and Cassie sitting next to each other. My wife right here, Cassie right here. The nigga jumped off the bar, came over and said, yo, Cassie, tomorrow, I want you to shave the side of your head. And I was like, what the fuck kind of request is that? Like, so when I'm like, what the fuck? So when I look up there, this white woman's side of her head was shaved, my nigga. And the bitch looked good with it. So I was looking at Cassie. I was like, well, I was like, you're not about to do that, are you? She said, well, I mean, whatever Sean wants, I'm gonna do. I was like, well, you make sure you send me a picture before you do that shit. So within like 2-3 days, she sent me a picture. I'm like, she done shaved her motherfucking head. I'm like, that shit look good. When that shit hit the internet, boom.
She started a whole trend, man.
A whole trend, and I watched it happen.
She started a whole
So I got so many moments and stories in time like this, bro. I could go on for days.
Yep.
And he was in that man's house and he saw that man's wife who was like this. I was watching.
The proof is definitely in the pudding. You know what I'm saying? The proof is definitely in the pudding. It's a bit disturbing. Right here is where I want to go. I want to go to Lil Kim, because Lil Kim is, she's been in those circles. She's been very close to him. And, you know, it's a lot. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into it. I'm actually going to bring this video up and I'm going to speed it up a little bit, you know, but I feel like this is relative to what we are talking about now. And let's see.
That hard, you should be rocking with Diddy that hard.
This is 50.com.
Right. You're gonna rock with anybody that hard. You know what I mean? And you can never make another big Kim. That's not gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. Like, what? You kidding me? This is never gonna happen. Like, I don't get it. But you know, at the end of the day, like, Puffy is Puffy. He will. I mean, you know, it's all about what he can do, what he can give to people. That's it. Puffy it's all about himself a lot of times. But he never really did nothing for me. I mean, when we were coming up, yeah, you know, we had to do things for each other. But, like, I judge by what happens afterwards. When I was locked up, and here's where Puffy should feel really bad. When I was locked up, Puffy never put a fucking $10 bill, a penny, a quarter in my fucking commissary. He never fucking wrote me a letter. He didn't try to come see me. None of that. I got people like Oprah. She wrote me 3 letters, right? She wrote me 3 letters and sent me 3 of her favorite books, which I love her to this day for that, because those books were so inspiring. And one of them, well, I'll tell you the name of the books later, but anyway, you know, Tyra Banks writing me. Mark Jacobs wrote me every freaking day. He told me everything that was going on from when he first woke up to the end of the night. What does it take just to say, let me make sure somebody who was a major part of my family is all right? You know, like when you locked up, the one major thing is that makes you feel like, damn, this person really loves me and is on my side, is that when they just take the time out to do one little thing. It's not even the big things that matter, because it ain't the money. I was straight in jail. I had too much money in my commissary. When I came home, they had to send my money back. It wasn't that. But nigga, you could have fucking came to see me one time. You could have wrote me 1 letter. Even with the movie, they played the shit out of me with that movie. And I'm still rocking, even after they played the shit out of me with the movie.
There's some controversy. There's some controversy about that. What was your major issue with your portrayal in the movie?
Shit, what? My major issue was I didn't have an issue. I didn't have nothing. I didn't have a case.
This50.com.
The movie went into green light and all that shit without me even being able to pick who played me. I would have never picked Tori Norton, or whatever. What's her name? Tori Norton, whatever. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't want to talk. She ain't got nothing to do with it. She's a nice girl. She's a sweet girl. I don't really know her that well, but she don't have nothing to do with it. But I would have never picked her to play me. You kidding me? I'm such a complex girl. I'm made up of a certain gangster that can't be copied from Brooklyn, and then I'm made up of a certain sexy sophisticatedness that cannot be duplicated. I'm a complex person. Like, I know that I have these different sides, and I'm not a fucking angry person all the fucking time. That shit didn't happen in the studio with me. Face was the one that was mad all the time because I was the mistress, I guess, whatever, you know. And I used to try to, you know, I been with the one who wanted our relationship, and this is real shit. He wanted our relationship to be more public. I was a young girl, so to be honest, you know, I was messing. This guy was married, and at the end of the day, we were together first. So I guess it was being that, like, okay, we had our relationship first. You know, I didn't really know how to deal with that. I was young, you know. If I could do it over, I wouldn't mess with a married man again, you know. But I was young. So at the end of the day, like, you know, she was more mad at the situation than I was. Right. And when I look back at it, damn, you know, she was married to the dude, but shit, he was fucking everybody. What the fuck? He was a piece of shit, and I love him, don't get me wrong. But he was a piece of shit sometimes, but that's my baby. I love him. But he could be what a man does. This is what men do. You know? So, I mean, at the end of the day, like, all that shit in the movie, that shit wasn't fake. No, that shit wasn't how it went down. She was the angry one all the time. And not only that, but she used to do a lot of real whack. This50.com. Like, whack shit. You know? But the thing is I didn't have to say so in the movie, and I should have had all the say so in the world because they evolved the movie around me. Ms. Wilde is talking about this movie. It's not about her. It's not about her. It's not about Christopher. It's not about her. It's about Christopher. This movie was about me. Y'all made that movie about me because y'all needed me in order to sensationalize the movie. Okay, I don't care no more. At the end of the day, they played me, and it was a struggle for me. After that movie, people, you know, you had some people who really thought that was me. You had some people who knew that wasn't me, but then you had some people who really thought that was me. And that was hard for me because I had to, and that's why I did Dance with the Stars, because I know there's so many.
Well, there you have it. You have Lil' Kim, you know, that had went away, and Puffy did not help her. And when it comes to other, like, she wasn't even oh yes, she was. They was all a part of it, right? But even with the other individuals that were a part of the bad boy camp, none of them, when they were in serious need of certain things, Diddy was nowhere to be found. And then, you know, this year, now he wants to give them their royalties. And a lot of people were saying, well, they're not really worth anything. You know, it's not worth as much as what he was getting before. So I feel like him, Diddy, allegedly, you know, all this is alleged. Nothing is strictly true. We got our banner going and everything is alleged. We're speculating what we think that happened, right? And what I feel what happened was he got very greedy. It was all about him. And if we really think about it, I mean, he was in those artist videos shaking it up more than what they were. You know, it was like, and what are you going to say? I'm your boss. You have to sit there and act like everything was cool. Now, when we get to his late baby's children's mother, Kim Porter was going to be writing that book. And he was nearby. He was there when the paparazzi, Kimora Lee Simmons. I don't even trust her. I don't trust her because if y'all were good friends like you say that y'all were, baby, listen here. When it comes to my best friend, no, ma'am. Nothing is going to hold me back. Nothing is going to get me up off of you. And especially if she's not here right now. Are you kidding me? You're going to sit on some information and not come forward about it? But that's what happens when money is involved. People get very greedy. They just don't care. And when you talk about Whitney Houston, Clive Davis, Clive and Diddy has been linked together. I wonder if Diddy was at that Grammys party that Whitney had got her wings at. But then let's talk about Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown has also come forward with accusations. The information is out there. If you have a lot of people saying the same exact thing, they've been to your parties, they know how. And then there was a recording where there was a toy on the bed with, was it Usher or Kevin Hart? I know the video was out there. And as much as we want to, we wanted justice for those women in the R. Kelly's case, we need justice in this case with P. Diddy. As much as y'all wanted to crucify this man and he needed to get what was coming to him, I think that we need to have that same energy for Puff Daddy. Allegedly, Big was actually bigger than him, bigger than Diddy. And he was going to break away from him. Well, with the camp, that was leaked back to him. And he says, okay, I'm going to play it like, and this is allegedly, I'm just going, speculating within my head. Okay, well, I'm going to play it cool. And it's time for you to go out, lights out. And when it had come to Lil Kim, oh, he didn't give a damn. He did not care. But now you've recently, Kim is back. And one thing that Kim said that was very, very, very important, you can't make another Little Kim and another Biggie. The chemistry that these people have, whatever happened or not, when I tell you, when it comes to the music, that music was everything. And the way that he encouraged her, the way that he pushed her, and the way that, the woman's self-expression, with our bodies, I don't care what we have on or whatever the case may be. We're not asking for anybody to do anything to us. Now let's get on over to J-Lo. J-Lo and Diddy, they were together, and allegedly, when Diddy and Shine and Jennifer went to jail back then, Jennifer Lopez said, Diddy wanted me to allegedly hold the thing in my purse, the steal. And he left Shine out to dry. He had all these attorneys, like Diddy had all these attorneys, right? But his label mates had to get a public defender and go through with it and lose, while Diddy got to walk free. Speaking of walking free, this man right here, I'm not sympathetic or empathetic towards him because he had all this information, and for you to let years and years and years and years and years pass by, for you not to say something, and now you want somebody to feel sorry for you, it's just not in. I can't say it's not in me. Lord bless that man, and that's all I got for you. Bless that man. That's all I have for you. Let's get into Tupac. Tupac. Oh, just hearing his name, he would have been so relevant today, which he still is. I mean, he's gone to glory, and not only myself, but Jada Pinkett still thinks about him and grieves. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Ask Willow. She wrote a letter to Tupac and asking if he would come back because her mom was. Let's get on over to Usher. And Usher got on that kilt, that skirt, that dress, or whatever we want to call it. He's in the headlines. Diddy got him. Listen here, let me show you the people I feel that Diddy got. We got Usher, we got Tupac, we got Keefe D, he had J-Lo, Lil Kim, Whitney, you know what I'm saying, Clive, Biggie, R. Kelly, and Orlando. But the way that they paint that man out to be is like it was a whole Ike and Tina situation. They said that Diddy was mimicking this behavior because this was a very legendary relationship marriage. And to learn the things that went on to Tina, rest her soul, and Ike, rest his soul, unbelievable. Unbelievable. And to know that that's the norm, it's heartbreaking. It's sad. We've got to start waking up, people. And listen here, Cassie, she's protected in New York. She is protected in New York. And a lot of people saying, well, why this, why that? Well, we can't put a date on when somebody should tell their story, right? We can just support them. So check this out. Thousands of New York Adult Survivors Act lawsuits filed, including against jails and prisons. Jails and prisons accused of rampant SA. This article was written on November the 9th. 2 weeks away from the deadline, more than 2,400 lawsuits have been filed under the New York State Adult Survivors Act, ASA, including many filed against county jails and state prisons and their employees. The ASA, which took effect on November 24th, 2022, allows individuals to seek civil remedies for SA they experienced after they turn 18, regardless of what the abuse occurred. Regardless of what year the abuse occurred. The ASA gives victims 1 year ending November 23rd to file a lawsuit. Without the ASA, such claims would be barred by a statute of limitations. It's a crazy number. Now we represent 1,800 women total in the state of New York that were SA'd while incarcerated, said Adam Slater, managing partner of Slater Schumann LLP, a New York City law firm that specializes in representing victims of SA and other traumatic events. Slater's firm represents several plaintiffs who were allegedly abused at the Monroe County Jail. According to the State Office of Court Administration, OCA, as of Wednesday, November the 8th, there have been 880 ASA filings in the state Supreme Court statewide. The defendants in many of those complaints are county jails and jail personnel. Those filings represent 992 named plaintiffs statewide, but there may actually be more unnamed plaintiffs involved in those complaints. The Supreme Court filings include 721 cases in New York City and 159 elsewhere. There have been 14 filed in Monroe County, 13 in Erie County, 11 in Onondaga County, and 10 in Albany County. As of October 30th, another 1,415 ASA lawsuits were filed in the New York State Court of Claims, where many of the defendants are state prisons and prison guards. Slater said lawsuits have been filed for inmates who were abused at almost every state prison. We started getting calls from mostly women, usually formerly incarcerated, that have asked about abuse, usually at the hands of a correction officer, sometimes the employees or of whatever prison they were in, Slater said. According to many of the complaints, the abuse occurred when male employees were alone with a female inmate. If you ask me what the very first reform should be across the board in New York and across the country, that should not be allowed. There are enough female correction officers, Slater said. Numerous research reports have warned prison officials about the abuse activities happening in their facilities. For decades, an environment of rampant and unchecked sexual abuse, harassment, and retaliation by corrections officers and employees against female inmates has been documented within the United States and the New York State Corrections Facilities, wrote Judy Saunders, an attorney at ASK LLP in New York City, which is representing many women in ASA cases, including some in Monroe County. In one complaint, Saunders quoted a 1996 study by Human Rights Watch. Few people outside the prison walls know what is going on, or if they do, know. Fewer still do anything to address the problem, according to the report. Many women are incarcerated in the 170 state prison facilities for women across the United States, and more often than not, they are guarded by men, according to the report. Saunders also quoted from a 2007 study titled Impunity, SA in Women's Prisons. In the United States, SA by guards in women's prisons is so notorious and widespread that it has described as an institutionalized component of punishment behind prison walls, according to the report. Saunders said that citing multiple reports that revealed the problem of SA in jails and prisons is important because it really speaks to what the government knew or should have known about SA within their facilities. If you know that or should have known that, that would mean that there should have been safeguards in place to protect women, Saunders said. The reports explained to prison officials that women are being raped in your prison systems, and here is a way we think you can correct it. They laid out a blueprint, Slater said, but nothing was done in response to the reports, Slater said. At all times relevant to this claim, the defendants knew and reasonably should have known about the rampant SA perpetuated systematically by its employees and staff, including corrections officers against female inmates, Saunders wrote in one complaint filed in Monroe County. In 2021, New York State Attorney General Letitia James filed a lawsuit against the Erie County Sheriffs for alleged rampant SA abuse in the jail. The problem in the state prisons is just as bad, if not worse. When you start peeling back the layers of the onion, you start seeing that it's a very prevalent crime going on, Slater said. One of the goals of the lawsuit is to force state officials to take a closer look at the prison systems and protect the women, he said. Okay, so Guys, let's definitely make sure we are safeguarding our loved ones while they're away in prison. If we have any loved ones out there in prison, we need to be asking those questions. When they call you, are you safe? Are you okay? Are you being abused? And we need to care for them. And we also need to get out there and vote. A lot of people say, oh, I'm not voting, da 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 da. But when things start going wrong and then you want to complain, well, remember, you didn't vote. Your vote counts, okay? I don't care what nobody say. But listen, we have come to the conclusion of our show. I definitely want to thank you all for coming out to the Goddess Queen Tulsa show. It was amazing to visit with you. And until next time, so long and how you doing? We'll see you next time, guys.
What's a girl to do? She needs love. Some girls need love. Girls can't never say they want it. Girls can't never say how.